Hello everybody, I'm Spartans20 and welcome to Pony Express. And today, I think I'm recording this correctly. I hope. But today we have a lot of updates, and if you don't like updates, then there should be an annotation on the screen taking up most of it right about somewhere now in the video somewhere. I don't know. Linking to when the reading actually starts. So yeah, I will be reading chapter 4 of A Handful of Crumbs, and the name of that chapter would be the something. I don't know. I'll tell. It's in the name of the thingy. So. Now, updates. Let's see where to begin. Oh yes, I've got the Facebook page done and ready. It's kind of 50% done actually. I'm going to be working on the website itself for the channel, and they're all in the description of this video. You can see the Facebook thing. It's facebook.com/ponyexpress.pe. So that's the Facebook page, and our our Twitter. Twitter is gonna work a little bit differently. Facebook is for the entire crew and stuff like that. So if there's a little thing, greater than stuff, sign, symbol, things like that, those things surrounding a name, for instance, Spartans20 inside two of those things, then it's me talking, and that's how we're gonna distinguish who's actually talking. So yeah, that's how that's gonna work. And the crew hasn't gotten any bigger, but if you want to be on the crew, you can always just send us a message. We're open to suggestion. We need crew members. We need people to read, and we need artists and animators and people for us to do stuff with, help edit stuff, things like that. Although I do most of our video editing, and I do a pretty good job too. Let's see. I'm gonna plan on doing some commentary things if we can get that to work. Me and Dan will just do some crazy, funny overlay commentary thing, along with a little parody of a scene in MLP that I'm not gonna say anything about, but keep an eye out for that. It's gonna have something to do with Rainbow Dash, I'll tell you that. But other than that, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I'm gonna plan on getting some Fighting is Magic footage out sometime in about a week or two. And I'm also planning a tournament for Fighting is Magic. Don't know when, but if you want to be part of that, then just say something and I'll get it all set up and we'll do it. And yeah, it'll be really cool. I'm not sure how we're gonna do it either, but I think it's gonna be pretty fun. There was something else I was gonna say. Some other thing I had planned. What was it? Yes, Unscripted Worker has his script. Yeah, can't remember. I'm just gonna start the reading. So, hello people who clicked little annotation. I'm gonna start reading now. Chapter 4 of A Handful of Crumbs. Let me turn up my brightness. Take a drink. And then we can get started. 2 weeks later. It was a bright morning. Rarity couldn't find it in her to move her out of her bed for what seemed like hours. How exactly was she supposed to handle this? It felt like her entire world had been ripped out from underneath her. Every silence magnified. She wished harder than she had ever wished for anything, to soon be hit by the smell of thick black smoke, courtesy of Chef Sweetie Belle, to tell her this was all a horrible lucid dream. But no matter how long she stayed there, the smoke never came. She didn't hear the sound of Sweetie Belle's sweet humming through the house, or her and the Crusaders loudly announcing their latest shenanigan in the hopes of cutie marks. I just noticed something. Sounds like I'm saying cootie mark, not cutie mark. Weird. Very strange indeed. Rarity thought for a moment. I should go. I can't do Rarity today. I should go see how the other Crusaders are doing. It wouldn't hurt to seek comfort in my friends either. She thought, moving slowly to get up. The dark and slightly wet spot on her pillow, and the tightness of the skin on her face told her she had cried in her sleep. Again. She didn't even bother to really doll herself up. Doll or something, I don't know. Even though she had to look like a bedraggled cat. Haven't heard that word. Haven't heard that word before. She couldn't care about that now. Nothing mattered more than Sweetie Belle's swift and thwart. That's what it says. Thwart recovery. That's weird. That's probably a spelling error, but I'm not good at spelling errors. So she only wished there was some way to aid that. Weird words. Weird wording. No, do not copy data. Where was I? Okay. Her faithful magic wasn't even of use. She had some of the best doctors in Ponyville, and even a specialist all the way from Manhattan, working and watching over her. There was nothing a simple fashion designer could do, even a unicorn. But maybe she could, in some way, console Sweetie Belle's two closest friends. And hope for some silver lining to come of this. She ran a comb through her purple mess of a mane, only enough to call it brushed. Cleaned the smeared makeup from her face without bothering to reapply anything but a little mascara. She wanted to clean herself up more and look presentable, but she just couldn't find the will and energy to do it. Walking through the town was tedious. Several ponies shot her some sympathetic looks, but not one had it in them to offer their condolences in words, though she didn't mind. She was sure she wouldn't be able to take them as gracefully as she would like. So it suited her just fine. But even in the morning sunshine, everything seemed so dark and bleak, as if somehow the entire world was grieving the tragedy that had befallen the alabaster mare. By the way, that's kind of how I see the world. The entire, all the time is dark and dull and bleak. So that's why I like My Little Pony so much, is because it's none of that. Just saying. Regardless, she forced herself to complete something today. Nah, I already read that. Rarity remembered that Scootaloo was with Rainbow Dash, and honestly, she didn't know where Rainbow Dash was at the moment. Chances were she was in her cloud home, but that would be impossible for Rarity to visit. So she set forth, thinking to stop at the library to speak to Twilight, and hopefully manage to pass on a message to Fluttershy regarding the care of opalescence. She walked mechanically along the streets of Ponyville, numb, little more than an empty shell of a white unicorn. She arrived at the Ponyville Library. Also, the residency of her purple unicorn friend and little green purple dragon that she cared for, hoping with everything in her that she could keep together. She knew she didn't have oh my god, I'm sucking today. She knew she didn't have to be perfect. No pony would be expecting to be perfectly collected in such a tragic situation. But she dreaded the idea of being a total a breakdown. She hated the idea of being total a breakdown mess. Okay, I read it how it was. A small laugh. Okay, a small laugh or something, void of any and all. Okay, a small laugh void of any and all humor escaped her lips. Okay. What did appearances mean in a time like this? She was a broken down mess. She had no idea what to do with herself, other than cry for 2 weeks. Whilst her poor little sister is fighting for her life. That's sad. Rarity is crying her eyes out and and then worrying about her appearance. Could any pony be more self-centered and petty? The white mare was disgusted with herself. The sound of a voice rippled. Ugh. The sound of a voice ripped her away from the inner thoughts. Hold on, let me see who's talking. Okay, I know who's talking now. That's a really long piece of dialogue. Rarity, you do realize there's a sign that says open, and you're welcome in my home at any time. You can come in instead of sitting on the porch all day. The white mare looked up to see a very haggard and worn Twilight Sparkle. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. Oh. Terrible Rarity. Let me see if I can do a Rarity impression for you guys today, because I probably can't, because I suck at Rarity for some reason now. Oh dear, Twilight, are you alright? Rarity asked, immediately full of concern for her purple friend. Shouldn't I be asking you that? Twilight said with a weary giggle. I'm just a little. Twilight yawned. Sorry, Daniel's sound effects. Tired, I guess. Come on in, she said, ushering in her friend. What in Equestria have you been doing when you should be sleeping? Terrible Rarity. Rarity asked, already knowing the answer. Reading, studying, trying to find something. Another yawn. Anything, really. For what? Well, for a while, it was for extensive healing and awakening spells. Rarity was touched by her friend's concern for Sweetie Belle. Trust me. Trust me. I've looked. There's nothing that will help any more than everything the nurses and doctors are doing. Twilight Sparkle nodded. Twilight Sparkle nodded. Twilight simply nodded. Blech. I was Rarity saying all that. Shit, I'm not reading it. So that was Rarity who just said that piece of dialogue. Great, I suck today. Yes. Yes. I found about the same. But now I'm trying to find something that might snap some pony out of a sort of post-traumatic comatose state. Jeez, Twilight. Jeez, Twilight. Mrs. Smarty Pants talkiness girl. She shook her head. It's difficult to explain, and even more so to research on. Rarity was just about to ask why Twilight would be searching for such a thing when a few voices rang from Twilight's room. Spike! Ugh. Spike! Twilight called. Twilight called in same direction. Spike, can you come down here? The purple and green dragon bounced down the stairs. See, bounced. I used bounced. No, bounded. Ugh, bounded. And nice word choice anyway. Happily. Ah, my arm is hurting from holding my phone up. No big deal. We've only got about 3,000 words left. No big deal. Near exuberantly joyful, which immediately perked Rarity's curiosity. Twilight was worn, ragged, trying to help, not to mention she knew how sad this entire ordeal was. What was Spike so happy about? Okay, here I go. Terrible Spike. Tell me if it's terrible. Twilight! Twilight! Scoodly's doing even better today. She's been smiling, and I even got her to laugh. Spike said, positively beaming. Okay, Rarity, you're here, he said cheerfully. Hello, Spike, Rarity said, trying her hardest to give the joyous little dragon a gentle smile. She knew it probably looked more sad and tired than significantly happy, but it was the best she could do. But even this minuscule act suited the bouncing little dragon. Spike, will you make Rarity some of that tea? And me some coffee, please? Twilight drinks coffee, but she drinks tea. Jeez. Twilight asked, with an exhausted grin. Ow, 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 ow. Arm hurts. It was odd to see some pony, or rather some dragon, happy in such a time. But at the same time, it was sort of refreshing. A nice dose of cheer to warm the heart and reassure the mind. Scootaloo is here? I thought she was with Rainbow Dash, Rarity asked Twilight. Well, Rainbow Dash stayed with Scootaloo up until a few days ago. The Weather Factory needed their best mare back on the job, and they couldn't grant her much more time because Scootaloo isn't technically her direct family. So she has been here while Rainbow Dash is at work. The purple unicorn mare explained. Charlie has excused all three of the girls from school for as long as they need be. Rarity nodded. That's very kind of her, but won't they fall behind on work? She's been sending their work to us, and she also offered to help them catch up when they return. Of course, Sweetie Belle will simply be excused from most of it, given the situation. Ah, I see. I'll have to remember to thank Charlie. Rarity said, nodding. How are you holding up, Rarity? Twilight asked, with sincere concern for her friend. Rarity sighed. Not well, to tell you honestly. Other than the outfit with the ribbon, I haven't done a single thing. At least I've kept the house clean. But I feel like there's something I really can do. There's nothing I really can do. But that doesn't mean I should do nothing, you know? Twilight nodded, completely understanding. We're all studying a little right now, she said solemnly. I'd like to speak with Scootaloo for a moment. Will you excuse me? She asked, looking up in the direction of Twilight's room. The purple mare simply nodded silently, and proceeded to rummage through a few books. A few books that Rarity didn't believe to belong to the Ponyville Library. Maybe Twilight had borrowed a few tomes from the Candellight archives. Being the princess's star pupil, there's supposed to be an E on the end of star. Being the princess's star pupil gave one access to many resources in the sense of research. Rarity was once again touched by the effort Twilight was exerting. But the poor dear should really get some sleep. She ascended the knotted wood stairs. Every step felt harder, like something thick as honey was trying to pull her back and away from what she was determined to accomplish. She did almost dread talking to little Scootaloo. It just forcefully reminded her of what happened. Once again, forced the memories in her head, like a knife. Like a knife creating flesh slices over existing wounds. It was excruciating, and several times she stopped, almost turning around and galloping out of the library immediately. But she was not turning back now. She had to do this for Sweetie Belle. The very least she could do was make sure her friends were okay. Rounding the corner, climbing the last few stairs, Rarity was met with a door, left ajar. Through the doorway was a room. Was an average-sized bed with fluffy pillows and sky blue coverings. A small basket bed with an apple themed quilt draped messily in it, and a small orange and pink Pegasus filly quietly colored a picture on the floor, furiously. Rarity cleared her throat. I can do some to that effect at least. Quietly, the filly looked up with large purple eyes. Her extreme cut, hot pink hair laid messily falling in front of her eyes. every so often. I cannot read today for some reason. Oh, I know why. 1 second, guys. Okay, I should be able to read perfectly fine now. 1 more second, though. Sorry. You know, funny thing, I would actually read more often if it was a story I was interested in, but since I read the last chapter first by accident, I'm not that interested in this story, but I'm reading it anyway. So, she set down the bright orange crayon that she held between her teeth. Oh, hi, Rarity. I cannot do Scootaloo. Scootaloo said, staring directly at the floor. Rarity tried to make her voice cheerful, but she sounded like one of those nurses with a terminal filly. Hello, Scootaloo. How are you today? Oh yeah, totally. The filly shrugged. Oh, okay, I guess. That's pretty good. She muttered. She muttered, still not taking her gaze off the floor. But she couldn't seem to keep her eyes on the same spot of the ground for long. What are you coloring? She asked gently. Nothing. Nothing, the filly said suddenly, fiercely attempting to hide the drawing. Rarity flinched. What was she what was she so excited about? The filly stop copying stuff, stupid phone. The filly sat with her forelegs curled tightly around a now horridly crumpled piece of paper, holding it tightly to her chest. She held the paper as if her life depended on it. Rarity remained calm and spoke gently. If you don't want to show me, that's perfectly fine. But I would like to see it if you don't mind, she said kindly. The young filly remained still and silent for a long while, and by the look on her face, she was thinking. Finally, she relented. She relented and released the wrinkled mess, never once taking her eyes off the ground. Something about the grimace on her face was odd, as if Rarity should recognize the emotion behind it. But she just couldn't place it. A light blue glow surrounded the drawing, and out of habit, Rarity began to attempt to iron out the imperfections in it was less wrinkled now, but a few deep creases cut through cut through the wax colors. Rarity looked at the picture, and almost instantly she felt her heart break at the sight. The drawing portrayed a sunset, orange Pegasus filly with spiky pink hair, floating above a carriage. In the Pegasus filly's forelegs lay a smiling white unicorn with two-toned purple-pink hair. Scootaloo, Rarity said, aghast. Hold on, I don't understand. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't understand. Hold on. Let me read over this again because I don't understand. Okay, I guess it's a good thing. I don't know. We'll find out. Honey, why would you draw something like this? It might sound like a bad thing. The young filly instantly broke down. Okay, I have to imitate crying. Oh my god. Damn it. It was all my fault. If I wasn't teaching them that stupid trick. Pretty good. Okay. She began sobbing. If I wasn't a freak Pegasus who could fly, I could leave. I could have saved her. I could have saved her. I'm so sorry. Please don't be mad. I'm sorry. It was all my fault. I'm so sorry. The filly cried. That was terrible, but I don't care. It adds a little bit of effect. Just a little. I can't cry as Scootaloo. I can cry as Twilight and Rarity and Fluttershy and all the other characters, but not Scootaloo. They can't cry as Sweetie Belle though. They can only cry as Sweetie Belle from Friendship with Witchcraft. In a blink, Rarity was holding Scootaloo tightly. Shh. No, honey. It's not your fault. It couldn't possibly be your fault. It was just an accident. Shh. It's okay. It's okay. Scootaloo buried her face in Rarity's alabaster coat as she cried as if she was in pain. Oh man, this is sad. Rarity rocked gently and rubbed her back in an attempt to comfort the young filly. A rushed sound of hooves and another strangely muffled beat alerted Rarity. alerted Rarity of the approach of her friends. She wondered what the muffled sound was, but she discovered its source was the wing beat of a bright rainbow-maned cyan Pegasus that had just rushed into the room. Okay, Rainbow Dash. Scootaloo! Rarity? What happened? What's wrong? Rainbow Dash asked in a panic. Is she hurt? What? Why did I say Twilight? Tri-right? I don't know. Twilight rushed into the room seconds after. Shh, Rarity said once again. She directed her attention to Dash. She's okay. She's okay. Rainbow then landed and quietly took Rarity's place, holding the young filly in her. Okay, that sounds weird. Rarity backed away. Okay. Shh. Scootaloo, shh. It's okay. It's me. I'm here. It's okay. Shh. It's okay. Dash cooed gently. Wow. Sad. Rarity had never seen her colorful friend. Rarity had never seen her colorful friend so mature or something in her life. Yeah, me neither. Remember that isn't so comforting? I'm about to cry. This is so sad. It's sad. It's only really sad when you're reading it yourself. But at this moment, she almost could have sworn that Scootaloo was Rainbow's filly, or at least little sister, despite the lack of familial, okay, despite the lack of familial resemblance, she motioned her purple friend out of the room to explain. Now that Scootaloo was in Rainbow's shoes. Okay, weird. Okay, we should be almost done with this, so that's good. Jeez, it's taking longer than I thought it would. About 40 minutes, no, should be. Twilight followed silently, leaving only the sound of Scootaloo's fatting sobs and Rainbow's gentle coos. What happened? Twilight asked as the door closed. Scootaloo blames herself for the accident. I said that wrong. Scootaloo blames herself for the accident. She drew a picture of her saving Scootaloo by flying. Rarity said, sniffling. Yeah, this is so sad. Hope I don't yawn, then I will be crying. Oh, the poor thing, Twilight said under her breath. It's not her fault. Rarity shook her head. No, it's mine. I should have... Twilight interrupted her instantly. Rarity, don't you dare try to blame yourself. The poor pony who could be at fault... Okay, the only pony that could be at fault would be the careless driver. They didn't even stop. How do you not notice something like that? The white mare remained silent for a while. Twilight shook her head. I'm serious, Rarity. Don't you dare go and blame yourself. I'm not, I promise, Rarity said, stopping to wipe her face. She sighed sadly. I'm terribly sorry, but I have to go. I need to go check on Apple Bloom now. Now that I'm sure Scootaloo is in good hooves. Don't let her. Twilight nodded. I've got it under control. And do get some rest, dear, she said with a small smile. Twilight nodded again, with a small smile of her own. The streets were once again silent, with a cloud of pity and sorrow thick in the air. She walked slowly along the stretch of road to Sweetapple Acres. Where asphalt faded to smooth dirt. Where humble homes and businesses gave way for an endless forest of apple trees. Rarity. Wow, I suck at reading today. Tonight, or whatever it is for you guys. Rarity quietly pondered how in Equestria Applejack and her brother could harvest every single apple just the two of them. Just the two of them. It seemed a daunting task, and dreadfully hard work. But they both seemed to enjoy it with as much passion as she herself felt for her trade. A light wind kicked up some dust, making small tornadoes before the white mare. The breeze gently teased her mane and tail, and felt colder on her face, where her cheeks were streaked with tear tracks. Ugh, I don't like going outside when I've cried. It's weird. Really weird to me. 1 moment. One drop of liquid. The modest weather vane and tin roof of a bright red barn soon... No, do not copy. soon came into view on the horizon, just above the trees, as Rarity drew closer to the apple residence. Within minutes, the barn was in full view, along with the other quaint buildings of Sweet Apple Acres. Quaint, never read that word before. She walked briskly to the door of the apple home. As she was a mere few feet from the door, another weary pony stepped out. A large scarlet red earth stallion with golden hair, usually strong and steady, was wobbly and fatchewy doo something. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Fatchewy doo. Macintosh? Rarity asked, surprised not only to see the stallion, but to see him so uncharacteristic. To see him so uncharacteristic ally weak and drained. Yup, Mac said. Mac said in more of a yawn than words. You look absolutely exhausted. Where are you going this morning? She asked quietly. He yawned again. The orchard's good. Another yawn. Harvest the apples. Seconding Mac. By yourself? He nodded slowly. Applejack has tried helping, but she's too tired. Been taking care of Apple Bloom. I wish Daniel was here. He said sadly. Yes, I heard about that. How is she? Rarity asked once again. Quiet. Rarity asked once again, quiet and unable to hold direct contact with a dull, faded that sat before her. It seemed he tried to shrug, but exhaustion weighed heavy on his shoulders, and they appeared to merely quiver, not what? Okay, I don't know what the word is. It doesn't change. It never changes. She's just... He shook his head. She just sits there. She screams when she sleeps, and wakes up and sits there. Oh shit. Okay, I'm glad I read this. This is like something that uh Megan McCarthy would write. Rarity had never seen so much pain in Macintosh's eyes. Again, she couldn't. Ow, my ear. Again, she couldn't look directly at him for long. He continued to stare at the ground. He too looked intently towards the dirt beneath his hooves. We get into another comfortable position because that one's getting boring to be in. After a few deep breaths, Macintosh spoke again. "Well," he said, a slight choke in his voice. I need to get to the orchards," he said, and he quickly walked away. Wouldn't we trotted? That's a quick walk. Whatever. Rarity stared at the ground. Long after the sound of Macintosh's hoofs faded, she took slow, deep breaths, calming herself, and battling the tears that threatened to spill over at any moment. She drew all the strength she had left and stepped forward. Entering the Apple residence. She felt a cold and suffocating sorrow surround her. Oh man. I know what that feels like. A familiar orange mare sat at the table with a cup of coffee beside her, and her face in her hooves. Her trademark hat lay across the table in front of her, and Rarity noticed how her mane was without its usual symptoms. Her mane was of hat hair. Meaning she hadn't worn it often within a few days. Normally, Rarity would find this as a fashion breakthrough for her friend, but today she knew it meant something was wrong. "Applejack? Are you alright, dear?" "Of course not, retard." That's what I want Applejack to say. That. I just want him to just turn around and say, "Of course not," because that's totally what I would say in this situation. Rarity spoke quietly, not wanting to disturb her obviously distraught friend. Rarity expected her to jump, but she didn't. The orange mare slowly looked up, just as exhausted. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Okay, just as exhausted. I understand. If not more than the two ponies before her. Okay, Applejack time. Oh, it's written in slang too. That's cool. Oh, hi. Oh, hi, Rarity. Oh, hi. Oh, hi, Rarity. What you doing here? Applejack said quietly, resting her face down on her hooves. I came to see how everyone is doing, she said, sitting at the table. She noticed the cup of coffee by Applejack appeared to be completely cold. Applejack, dear? I don't mean to be rude, but you look positively dreadful. What is the matter? Applejack actually smiled. Normally, one could expect Applejack to retort with a defense comment on Rarity's insistent or something like that need to be neat and perfect. But she just shook her head with a small, almost humorless smile. You're not up to your usual perfection. You're not up to your usual perfection yourself there, Rarity. I don't blame you. Know exactly how you're feeling. That's how you're feeling. Not odds. Anyway, what I don't know is how you're holding up. Applejack said, looking straight at the table, but not focusing on anything in particular. Rarity laughed. Just don't laugh, bitch. Rare whore. Also without humor. As her gaze losing focus on any physical object. To be completely honest, my dear, I'm not, she said, shaking her head. I'm not holding up well. I'm not holding up well whatsoever. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream was heard from upstairs. Okay. I know what's going on. I'll explain it in a minute. If it doesn't explain it, because it can be a little bit confusing what's going on. She fell asleep, Applejack said in a huff, before walking briskly up the stairs. Rarity followed. thinking about what Macintosh had said. The two mares burst through the door of the little filly's room to find a young it's not light orange, it's yellow. Young light orange filly thrashing and screaming on her bed. Apple Bloom? Apple Bloom! Shh, it's okay. It's okay, Sugar Cube. Let me sit up so I can do this. It's okay, Sugar Cube. I'm right here, Applejack said calmly, petting her sister's hair. Almost instantly, Apple Bloom's thrashing stopped and her screams subsided quietly. She sat straight up, her eyes void of any and all of the spirited young ranch pony she was, and completely silent. Holy shit, she's freaking worse than I thought it was. God. Applejack sighed in exasperation when she realized her sister had slipped right back into her dazed and absent state. Apple Bloom, Rarity's here. She wants to talk to you. Okay? Applejack said gently. Apple Bloom did nothing to acknowledge. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Shit. Damn. Her sister's words, other than turn to stare blankly at Rarity. It was chilling for the white mare to see such emptiness in the young filly's eyes. Shit. Apple Bloom was always full of life. A fiery determination to earn her cutie mark. Cheerful. Expressed herself no matter what. Now she sat, silent and void of her natural spirit. Rarity smiled gently. Hi, Apple Bloom, she said quietly. Apple Bloom then looked down at the sheets laying messily under her small body. She then got up. A gasp. A gasp of surprise. A gasp of surprise from Applejack. And walked to Rarity. The filly hugged the white mare tightly. Her eyes closed tightly as she began to cry. Rarity rubbed her back gently, glancing at Applejack, who didn't know exactly what to do herself. Too many emotions played across her face to pin down exactly what she was feeling. I don't know. Obviously, this was a small break in the filly's waking silence. and Applejack was relieved but sad, glad, yeah, at the same time, a little depressed that she herself couldn't pull her little sister out of such a dark time. Yeah, it's not explaining what's going on, not explaining what's happening. I will explain it later. But yeah. Okay. Where was I? It wasn't like Apple Bloom. It wasn't like Apple Bloom thought of Rarity as a better sister, as Sweetie Belle had once thought of Applejack. The sister of her injured friend just happened to be the trigger to pull her back, like a bucket of ice water on a sleeping pony. I don't know what to do, Apple Bloom cried, her voice hoarse and cracking from misuse and her racking sobs. It just happened. Sweetie Belle, she was in the road, and I didn't know what to do. I'm so sorry. Apple Bloom. Apple Bloom, now ain't your fault, Applejack shouted instantly. Jeez, everyone blames themselves. In no way could it possibly be your fault, my dear, Rarity said calmly. I'm just sorry, the young filly said. Is she going to be okay? Rarity looked down and sighed. I don't know. Suddenly, Apple Bloom was up and animated like her normal self, and instantly speaking rapidly. Okay, here we go. you know, okay. Wish me luck on this. If I ace this, it'll be awesome. You know what we should do? We should do the candle wish. If every pony in Ponyville could come. She sat and thought for a moment. Now, how many candles would that give us? I'd say somewhere near 1,000 or more, dear. Why? That's perfect. Can we do it, Applejack? Please? Apple Bloom begged her sister. Applejack smiled. I think that would be a great idea, Sugar Cube. I'm sure Rarity and Sweetie Belle would appreciate that very much. Terrible reading today. Although it is like 5,000 words, but Rarity looked questionably at Applejack, and was about to voice her silent wonderings when Apple Bloom's excitement burst interjected. Excitement burst interjected. Ow, ow, ow. That's not part of the story. Oh god, I hate talking as Apple Bloom. I'll start calling every pony. Applejack, you do the same. We'll have it at the school. At the school, okay? I gotta go tell Scootaloo and Twist. And Apple Bloom disappeared in an excited blur and a rush of sound of hooves. Okay. Well, at least she's better and not all spacey gown sorts. Applejack said, sighing with a joyous relief. Maybe this house can get some sleep tonight. Even Granny Smith couldn't sleep through that little filly's nightmares. Night cares. Applejack, dear, what exactly is the candle wish? Rarity asked quietly. The old Ponyville magic story. It said that if 1,000 candles are lit with a strong wish for something and fly into the air with those balloons things, it'll come true. I thought that was just an old ponytail. I thought that was an old ponytail ponies told the fillies. Rarity said, recalling the myth. Well, it might darn well be, but right now, I think all any pony can do is hope for a miracle, and if a couple old candles and paper Bolden could make a miracle, I say it's worth a shot. Applejack said, shrugging. Besides, if nothing else, it's a mighty nice thing to do for Sweetie Belle, knowing that every pony is wishing for her to get well and come home. Rarity nodded. Honestly, what could it hurt? Any little hope of magic or miracles had to be some good in this case. And it did help Rarity knowing that the town honestly cared and wasn't simply acting sympathetic because it's what they should do. just be at the school tonight when it starts to get dark. Me and Apple Bloom will handle the rest. Applejack said as the two were walking outside. Okay, I'll be there, Rarity said with a smile, and continued home. As Ponyville grew dark, glowing dimly with the remaining light of the setting sun, a large crowd of ponies gathered in the field behind the old schoolhouse. The entire town, and even surrounding Pegasi and Audiers, was there, each pony with a candle and paper balloon in their possession. In front of and facing the crowd stood Mayor Zecora the zebra, Rarity, and Apple Bloom. Mayor spoke clearly, yet gently. Oh my god, this is taking way longer than I thought it would be. Yet gently addressing the crowd. Citizens of Ponyville and friends, we are here today to honor the bravery and strength of one little filly who has been stricken with tragedy. Young Sweetie Belle was hit by a speeding carriage two days ago. Really, 2 days ago? Didn't it say 2 weeks later at the beginning? Weird. And continues to battle for her life in intensive care. Tonight, our hearts go out to this young filly, and in an old, almost forgotten tradition of Ponyville, we light these candles and give them to the sky in hopes of our wish for Sweetie Belle's swift and complete recovery and return. Thank you, Apple Bloom, for orchestrating such a gesture for your friend. And thank you, Rarity, for your strength and courage to attend. Our hearts are with you and your family as well. Apple Bloom and Rarity both nodded in turn. Every pony, Zecora will walk around and light your candles. As she does this, wish as hard as you can and send them into the sky. Zecora lit the fireplace match and walked through the middle of the crowd of ponies, touching the small flame to each candle on either side of the fourth candle. A gentle voice was heard. Rarity believed it to be Lyra Heartstrings. Oh, they actually have Lyra. Quietly singing. Then the ponies with candles lit leaned over to the next pony, using the flame on their candle to light the wicks of others, and a small wave of dim light passed over the crowd as the gentle voices grew in number, quietly singing the song. The lights began to rise in the sky as they sang. You ask me time and time again, how did this start? How did it all begin? And I will tell you one more time. It was your smile across the crowded room that first drew me to you. It was that heartwarming smile, and it was your laugh in the darkest of times that made me fully realize that I had fallen for you. It wasn't your hair that bounces in the breeze, or even your eyes as blue as the seas. Although, yes, it's true, I'm quite taken with all of you. When you smile a dazzling smile, all your beauty shines through. Now, this is a nice song. I'm not singing it because I don't know how it's sung. It was your smile that captured my heart for all time, and that made me wish you could be mine. It was always in your smile. All your crazy ways gave me so many happy days. But it all started with your smile. Sounds like Pinkie Pie. Pinkie Pie. Sounds like Pinkie Pie to me. To be exact. Pinkie Pie isn't even in this. Yeah, Pinkie Pie isn't even in this. I don't think. A tear ran down Rarity's face as she watched the lights rise into the stars. Okay. Rarity's face as okay. A tear ran down Rarity's face as she watched the lights rise like the stars of Luna's night. And she wished harder than anything for her sister to come here. Author's note. Just so you know, I do not own the song. Boo! All credit /write / yada yada goes to the great and beloved Mando Pony. Really? That's Mando Pony's song? Ooh, I'll have to look that up. It all started with your smile. Okay, I'm gonna look that up after I'm reading this. I wanna hear that song. I heard the song and simply fell in love with it. And felt it fit in this part well. Also, I know it took forever and a day to pass this. I've been super busy moving into the the dorm, and with all the work slash school slash blah blah slash blah 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 slash blah 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 slash blah. Wow, that guy's weird. And there's no internet in my dorm. Wah 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 wah. I hope you guys like this chapter. Though, let me know. Signed, Clover. Now, since I'm freaking, a little bit tired of talking, I won't be reading any comments, unfortunately. So if you want to know of comments, then sorry. But other than that, like I said, I got the Facebook thing up and ready to go. So my 4 subscribers out there, you should go and click the like button on that and check it every once in a while, because I'm gonna have some polls on there, just like what do you want us to read next and stuff like that. Give a little list. You can suggest things. That's how we're gonna do it from now on. So that's how you're gonna suggest things, is on Facebook, or just send a message. And if you have any questions, then feel free to ask in the comments or on the Facebook page, and I'll keep updates on the Facebook page. And there is a link to the YouTube channel on the Facebook page, so everything's set out, and Facebook will be on the channel in about 10 minutes after this video is up, so no big deal with that. I'll get that set up. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. My name's SpartanX20, like always. The other guy is Gunslinger, but he's not here right now. So like I said, I'm SpartanX20, and this is Pony Express. Have a nice day.